Oh man, the Peyton Manning haters showed up in full force when his Denver Broncos lost to the Indianapolis Colts in the divisional playoffs. It was Manning's NFL record 9th one and done in the postseason and second in 3 years in Denver. He's now 11-13 all time in the playoffs, and while he is under 500, you can also make the argument that the record is a bit skewed because Manning's teams always have a first-round bye and play tougher opponents in that divisional round. But it's still hard to make excuses. Let's compare his playoff record to some other upper echelon quarterbacks who make the postseason. Obviously, there's Tom Brady, who everyone compares Manning to. Well, he's 21-8 all time in the postseason, and his record isn't skewed despite all the first-round byes the Patriots get. Now, you can say, well, you know, Brady's had better defenses over the years, and that is true, but he gets it done in the postseason. Ben Roethlisberger and Joe Flacco are both 10-5. Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees are equally 6-5. Baby brother Eli is 8-3. So that's that. Those are some of the better quarterbacks in the league who actually make the postseason. So that sample size you can see, you know, Manning, he's right up there, you know, with Rodgers and Brees. Basically, they're both 6-5. Manning 11-13, so there you go. But Manning was awful in that 24-13 loss, going just 26 of 46, 211 yards, and a touchdown. But reports later came out that Peyton played the final month of the year and the postseason with a torn right quad. Again, not trying to make excuses for the guy, but his passes were clearly not as sharp and crisp the final month of the season. Manning threw 17 touchdowns and a whopping 12 interceptions his final 9 games of the year. General Manager John Elway cleaned house following the embarrassing playoff loss. Gary Kubiak was brought in as the new head coach, and Wade Phillips was named the new defensive coordinator. Adam Gase followed former coach John Fox to Chicago, so Kubiak brought Ravens quarterbacks coach Rick Dennison with him to become the OC. So the trio of Kubiak, Phillips, and Dennison are back together just like they were in Houston from 2011 to 2013. The question will be how Manning will fare in Kubiak's zone-blocking, run-oriented offense with a movement-based play-action attack. Gone are the days of Manning and shotgun. He'll be playing more under center. I'm sure there will be some, blending going on as Manning prefers tempo and relying on his brilliance, using the pre-snap and adjusting at the line of scrimmage. So, just how much blending in there's going to be remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. One of the concerns I have with the team is the offensive line, which is something Manning always seems to have. There are 4 new starters, with Louis Vasquez the only one returning. Now, I know that nobody gets the ball out quicker than Manning, so maybe we'll see how much of a hindrance this becomes. Denver did win out on the Evan Mathis sweepstakes, so he should be a huge help. He's going to just get plugged right in there at guard. Denver comes into the year, a bit under the radar, and maybe that's a good thing. Not a lot of people are talking about them winning a Super Bowl this year, so we'll see what happens. The Broncos lost a bunch of vital players to free agency. You had guard Orlando Franklin, nose tackle Terrence Knighton, safety Raheem Moore, tight end Julius Thomas, linebacker Nate Irving, and center Will Montgomery. They're all gone. Going back to the torn quad thing, Manning threw just 3 touchdowns in December. The injury diminished his already impaired ability to drive the ball downfield. Still gets, like I said before, he gets rid of the ball out quicker than anybody. Still extremely accurate, anticipates with the best of them. All right, going position by position. Well, before I get there, make sure you click on the rankings below. They're in the description box. So I got rankings of every unit. I've got numbers besides players. So make sure you check all that stuff out. All right, so on to Manning. Defenses have been forcing him to work outside the numbers more due to his decreasing arm strength. Pressuring up the middle has, been a thing that Manning has trouble with, and his lower body mechanics are paramount to his zip and velocity. So we'll find out if that offensive line will hold up, on those blitzes up the middle. The 6'7", 240-pound Brock Osweiler has a huge arm, is athletic for a man his size. C.J. Anderson went from being buried on the depth chart at the start of the year to leading the NFL in scrimmage yards during the month of November. At 5'8", 224, he uses his low center of gravity to barrel through contact. He has good vision, finds the cutback lanes, and leans forward to pick up the extra yardage. He has soft hands coming out of the backfield, also really solid in blitz pickup. Ronnie Hillman is a nice changeup. He's speedy and elusive. Juwan Thompson is the third stringer now after Monty Ball was cut. Demaryius Thomas's 111 catches and 1,619 yards are franchise best, and he joined Jerry Rice and Marvin Harrison as the only pass catchers to eclipse 1,400 yards and 10 scores in 3 straight seasons. Explosive, big, strength to beat press coverage, speed to get vertical and separate. Also, that strength and speed uses it to his advantage in the screen game. Has ability to score from anywhere on the field. Also a very good blocker. Emmanuel Sanders had a fantastic season in his first with the Broncos last year, making his first Pro Bowl. He's got 4.4 speed, insanely quick, very versatile. To a 2014 second-rounder, Cody Latimer is expected to make a huge jump this season. He's a sure-handed speedster with great size. He struggled to learn the playbook last year. Andre Caldwell and Jordan Norwood are the other options at receiver. Virgil Green is the reason why, Dave Thomas became expendable in Denver. There's so much untapped potential, and I think he's ready to explode in 2015. And to be honest with you, he could be in the top 10 among tight ends. He has that seek and destroy blocking acumen, very good at setting the edge. He can also kick out well, and block in Gary Kubiak's run-oriented zone scheme. Versatility will be maximized. He's always been used primarily as a blocker because of Thomas's skill set, but now we're going to see, that he can catch the ball a little bit too. He has underrated hands, athleticism, and he's going to use that to his advantage when working the seams, on that vertical passing game. Owen Daniels followed Kubiak to Denver, is actually the top tight end on the depth chart. He's a reliable safety valve in the offense. So went from Houston, then he went to Baltimore, and now he's in Denver, following Kubiak all the way around. Vasquez comes off a bit of a down 2014 campaign after being outstanding in 2013. He actually started at right tackle from week 10 on a year ago. He's a lot better in pass protection than he is as a run blocker. He's athletic, has quick feet, plays with good technique. As a run blocker, he struggles in space, but he's tough. He just needs to be more consistent. According to Pro Football Focus, Mathis was their top-ranked guard in 2012 and 13 before falling to number 2 last year behind Marshall Yanda. But I didn't think his pass blocking was good enough last year to warrant that number 2 ranking in 2014. He spent the first 7 games during last year's campaign on the pine with an MCL sprain, but played well enough. Played really well when he returned to the lineup. His run blocking is exceptional. He's at his best in space. He's agile enough to get to the second level, strong enough to lock up defenders. Ryan Clady tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Tough blow. He would have been a great fit in the zone blocking scheme. This means that second-round rookie Ty Sambrailo will be thrust in to start at left tackle. Ryan Harris will start on the right side. 2014 sixth-rounder Matt Paradis will start at center. Malik Jackson has been a great rotational rusher for the Broncos over the last 2 seasons, recording 11 sacks, but will get a chance to start this year. Sylvester Williams had a crossroads in his career as a 2013 first-rounder. We'll get the first crack at nose tackle for the departed Knighton. Solid initial quickness from him. Derek Wolfe will be suspended for the first 4 games, so Antonio Smith will start in his spot at the other defensive end's, starter. Von Miller's transitioning as a 4-3 strong side linebacker to a 3-4 backer with the addition of Phillips as the defensive coordinator. The Broncos ran a 4-3 hybrid scheme with minimal blitzing, but we all know how much Phillips likes to get after the quarterback. Despite being in a 4-3 over previous years, hasn't been asked to cover often. Pass rushing is Miller's specialty. He mixes speed, agility, and strength with a wide variety of moves to get pressure on the quarterback. He's had at least 11.5 sacks in 3 of his first 4 seasons, including 14 last year. Missed the final 7 games in 2013 due to an ACL tear. Has improved drastically as a run defender, whether he's setting the edge or crashing down. He sheds blocks. Like I said before, he doesn't cover a lot, but when he does, he actually isn't that bad. Obviously not his strength. Basically, he'd play zone to take away tight ends or routes to and a bit beyond the line of scrimmage. 33-year-old DeMarcus Ware is back to rushing from a stand-up position. He still has a quick burst off the snap, has a variety of pass rushing moves, still does a good job of setting the edge. Brandon Marshall was a practice squad player who couldn't, stop making plays, so John Fox decided to give him a shot, and now he's making plays on Sundays as a starter. He filled in for Danny Trevathan, led the Broncos in tackles. He's rangy, physical, solid tackler, improved as the year went on in coverage. Trevathan, meanwhile, will start at the other inside linebacker spot. I'm curious to see what first-rounder Shane Bray brings to the table his rookie year. Will he make an immediate impact, or is he going to be a guy that takes a while to learn the playbook? Chris Harris was my fourth-ranked corner, which might be a surprise to the casual fan, but shouldn't be to the hardcore one. Second in the NFL in passer rating against at 47.8. His pure coverage skills are outstanding. His 7.7 yards per catch allowed was by far the best in the league. E.J. Gaines of the St. Louis Rams was second at 9.6. And it's not like he really gets challenged. He plays opposite Aqib Talib. It's pick your poison in Denver. He's also equally adept at playing the inside. He played 249 of his 1,004 snaps in the slot. Besides Davis, no other corner was better in coverage last season. Harris is an outstanding athlete, very fluid in his hips, fast enough to run with any receiver in the game. He just doesn't guess wrong. Isn't exactly great as a run defender, but does have the ability to turn the play inside. Not a lot of cornerbacks can match Talib's physicality, and when he gets the press and wins at the line, you're not going to escape him. He's a long stride runner, can stick with receivers downfield. Talib is one of the better run-defending cornerbacks in the game. He uses his physicality and strength to take on blockers and doesn't get pushed off his spot often. TJ Ward, very disappointing first year in Denver. At his best, playing the run, being physical in the box, basically like an extra linebacker, but struggled mightily in pass coverage a year ago. Darian Stewart takes over for Raheem Moore at the other safety spot, so there's that. Brandon McManus will be the team's kicker after being overtaken by Connor Barth midway through the season last year, while Britton Colquitt returns as the punter. Omar Bolden will handle the return duties. So, prediction time. Like I said before, the Broncos are kind of being overlooked as a Super Bowl contender this year. I have them going 11-5, but 11-5 is going to result in, I think, a 2 seed in the AFC. So I am thinking AFC Championship game, but I don't think they're getting past the AFC Championship game. But still, even a lot of people aren't even giving them that far, having them go that far. So I think they're a top 5 team in this league. I still think they're very good. Super Bowl though, I don't think they're going to go that far, but I think they're really good. We'll see how many years Peyton Manning still has left in him, and we'll see if he, how good he looks this year, because we'll see if those reports actually turned out to be true about his injury. So maybe he's going to be back to throwing a bunch of touchdown passes. Not saying he goes over 50 or anything, but maybe he can get to 40, 45. Who knows? So we'll see what happens. Again, 11-5 AFC Championship game. And I have them losing to the Patriots. So the Patriots, I just gave it away. That's my Super Bowl pick from the AFC. So, with that being said, I'm out of here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at TheBitterBirds. Take care. Later. And, oh, man, the season, it starts tomorrow. Football is back. We're going to have football on every Sunday until February 14th on Valentine's Day. So, yes, we're back. We're back.